radio, television, Bandara Ipoh. Morning Ipoh with Katie, and we are on to the 16th episode. But this time, with a difference. Following the standard operating procedures, we are now on through Zoom online as we room together. And this morning, joining us, ladies and gentlemen, is a person who is an entrepreneur, a professional master of ceremonies, and also an events consultant. Could you please offer a bit of applause, online style, to the one and only Mr. Damian Nagalingam. Good morning, Damian.
Good morning, Katie. And indeed, it's good to see you in here. And yeah, with the current circumstances via Zoom, a safe way for us to have conversation, a good conversation. And yeah, I'm pretty excited today, filled with words, as this is really exciting to be in Zoom here with you, and especially on this broadcast.
With the kind of voice, Damien, it just brings out the incredible morning together, where the sunflowers, the bougainvilleas, and all sort of flowers will just blossom and bloom with the kind of macho voice you have. It has been, of course, a tradition for me in all the events and all the Zoom meetings I do to welcome all our audience in different races, faces, ages, and places by saying Salam Sejahtera, Selamat Pagi, Wan Yin Daja, Chao Shang Hao. Kewalipin Niman Hao. Kalamanakam Saudara Saudare, Kopi Wosian, Kotopian, and Sastrikal. David Nagalingam, without wasting any more time, let's just go in right now, zooming in right to your humble beginnings. Where were you born and where do you study?
Katie, I'm made in Ipoh, Perak. I was born in Ipoh, Perak. And my full education from kindergarten right till Form 5 is all in Ipoh, Perak. And I'm proud to say from kindergarten right till Form 5, I hail from St. Michael's Institution, Ipoh.
Wow, that is called total loyalty to St. Michael's Institution. Incredible, Damien. And from school, after you finish your education, how do you begin in your working career?
Katie, to tell you the truth, I really like entertaining and talking and getting people smiles and gosh, I was always full of words. So I started up working in an event company. I was a technician in a sound and light company, and I slowly made my way up. Trying out small little events. Back in the early 90s, mobile karaoke was a major hit. And you always have a mobile karaoke with every housewarming, birthday parties, weddings. And yeah, I used to pick up the mic and try myself out there. Pushed it a little further. I was given a chance to do broadcasting in supermarkets. Pushed it a little further. I started playing music. By the time I was 18, by the time I was 19 years old, I learned to be a jockey, a disc jockey. And my humble journey started out spinning in places like Palm Grove, Party Box, Oasis Ipoh, Outbreak, and a couple of places in Penang.
Okay, I want to just check with you, Damien. Since you mentioned that you became a disc jockey, are you able to actually spin on the turntables?
Oh yes, that's how we started off from the turntables, and slowly, the era changed. Then came along CDs. I remember, if those of you who are watching this, you remember the Pioneer DJMs, and then came the DJM 500, and then you had the Denons and the Denons Mark II, and then came along a serious machine called the Vestex, and we're all like, whoa! But back to basics. It's always the memories of the great turntables and the arms and the stylus, and spinning of great music from how it all began.
Thank you very much. It brings me also great sweet memories of the yesteryears. Well, of course, from DJing, did you move on to a little bit more on a higher elevated platform in events and entertainment, Damien?
Yes, Katie, I did. I I I learned what I wanted to do, spinning music. I had a passion for music, and from there I took it on a little bit further by going on stage, hosting very small birthday events, home birthday events, broadcasting in supermarkets, and it just took off from there. All right. I did shows for annual dinners. And Katie, even in the track record or the many events that I've done, I've stood in front proudly in front of our Perak Sultan, our late Perak Sultan, and I've hosted events in state levels for our state government.
Well, great, incredible, because I've seen you in action, Damien. This is definitely the epitome of success, moving on slowly but surely and sincerely from the heart to where you have arrived into something we call the triangle of success. But among all the events you have done, all the functions you have hosted, there's definitely one very memorable experience, one something that happened that you'll never ever forget in your whole life. Share with us that moment, that experience with all of us.
Seriously, Katie, there are many events that rings back great memories. Each event has its distinguished identity. Every setup is different, But if you talk about one that will never leave my head, okay, there's this one event I did. It's actually a launch. I was given a task to turn a container measuring 20 by 8 by 8, just a normal container that you see on the roads, a container, to turn it into a mobile showroom. Okay,
Wow.
it was for one of the leading car makers of Germany, and I was given 28 days to complete the task. And on the 17th day, they told me that in another 10 days extra, we need to launch this big mobile showroom, open air, and to get it all planned and done in under 14 days. It was a great task. There's also one more event that I would just like to highlight. It was in Kota Baru. Our lorries arrived 3 hours before the show time. Okay, and due to technical issues, the lorry broke down halfway. A setup that used to take 8 hours, we completed it in 3 hours before the mall opened. Now, this too will never be wiped out from my memory banks.
One thing I know that the saying in the events industry is, I remember this learning from my Sifu. Katie, the show must go on, regardless of what. And I think you have turned every challenges, every obstacles into opportunities. That's why I believe you're still sitting here proudly, talking to all of us about such experiences. And I can feel the vibes, Damon, that is really interesting. And of course, to all of us here, we have gone through our trials and tribulations, our challenges, and so forth. But I always say one thing: turning mistakes into education. Whatever happened is for a reason. And that is where we always love, share, and care. Like this morning, in Morning Ipoh with Katie, as we bring in seasoned speakers, experienced speakers who are humble, who have gone from who they are to what they are today through hard work and perseverance. That is truly something incredible. Let me just ask you just now about a container. From a container, I call it a trash or a junk, turning into a treasure. How do you basically, for our understanding, spruce it up? Was it with aircon? Was it with a coffee table? Was it with a television? Explain a bit more about this container. I'm excited about it, Damon.
Okay, getting that container done. Now, yes, it had to be a state-of-the-art showroom. It had to be fully equipped with a coffee bar, high stool seating, sofa seating, and of course, the most important thing was a big screen, which was a 60-inch LED television to do video playbacks. It had to be OKU friendly, easy accessible to elderly people, and yeah, it was a major task that me and my team pulled through, and we were able to complete it in 28 days.
True, I tell you, that is definitely an experience you never forget. Next time I buy an empty container, Damon, I know who to contact, okay? Because you have really got the experience. Okay,
Why not? Why not?
why not? Yeah, always sharing is caring. My next question would be, Damon, in the many years of experience as the master of ceremonies, have you done event overseas? And which part of the world has it taken you to?
Kitty, I was blessed to be able to have traveled to a couple of countries as an MC. I'm thankful that this God gifted talent that I have has taken me to places like Indonesia, China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Korea, Australia, let's see, South Africa, and finally Egypt.
Wow. How about Japan? Did you manage to go to Japan?
Oh, yeah, I did twice to Japan.
Wow. So basically, Damien, with all these experiences, and do you get any stage fright going on to an international unknown platform? How do you actually hype yourself, if you still have, to overcome this initial stage fright, to ensure that when you start with the most magnetic opening spiel that people say, wow, this MC is great. Because we know that the first 2 minutes is where everybody evaluate your performance on stage. How do you overcome this?
First impression is always your best impression. In that first 1 minute, you either make it or you break it because it gives you a boost up. And Katie, I'm not sure about you, but as for me, every event has its own feel and stress. You go up on stage. I don't know how. As I said, I'm blessed to have a little talent like this to be on stage and to MC in front of thousands of people, whether I'm in my homeland or whether I'm abroad. But it is just something that I just say a short prayer, I go on stage and let the show roll.
I think with the kind of voice and the kind of wittiness, the kind of stamina and inspiring power, I believe the audience were just in awe, awestruck, they call it, so happy with what you've done. And let me just put it back a little bit, David. You have been to China, you've been to Hong Kong. So when you're Hong Kong,
係啊，係啊，我可以㗎，可以㗎，可以講華語，可以講廣東話，抌啦都俾實你咯。
Wow, I tell you, it's SB lah. SB semua boleh, serba boleh. Fantastic. Canlah hoye wo, Damien. So this is what we say. You see, in Malaysia, this is also where we're able to actually mix with all races. Right? That's where we pick up multi languages. And today you could see this inspirer of mine, this person who came here with this nice, great voice, speaking in multilingual languages. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll tell you what, Damien, I know you're roaring to go. We're going to take a short break right now, go for commercial break, and come back to speak about what's happening to the pandemic and moving on from the pandemic, moving on to what we are today. Okay, stay tuned. Keep smiling. We're back in a short while with Morning Ipoh with Katie under Radio Television, Bandara Ipoh.
There is a poem that speaks 1,000 images, one that locks your love in place and catches your dreams and transports you where life is simple and filled with innocence. You bathe in the warm embrace of Mother Nature before taking the path into the belly of the earth and feel the cool air on your face among the time-sculpted walls with eternal love smiling at you from above. You pay solemn respect to an esteemed ancestor and marvel at the way he lived. It is said that love never dies, and you see an enchanting castle replete with spirits that linger gently in the catacombs of your mind. Arrive as a stranger, yet somehow feel that you are part of the rich architectural heritage of the land. You find yourself in that vast landscape of lushness that surrounds you and welcomes you to a flowery garden where every step you take is a lesson in being one with nature. You see a golden dome shimmering under the glare of heaven's eye. testament to the grace and majesty of the Almighty. You run and watch in amazement, a delightful behavior of God's creatures. Day turns to night. Nocturnal creatures come out to play and feast. You catch sight of a wondrous lake, where locals sway in tune to a silent rhythm. There is also a monument where you catch a glimpse of tradition's past. You step into a sanctuary to pay a visit to a dear old friend and his countless children. Embrace nature as you find yourself beside a peaceful lake, surrounded by an ancient rainforest, older than the Amazon. A broad smile crosses your face as you hang in the air, watching a magnificent river gushing down the side of a hill. A splash of crystal clear water refreshes you as you awake on an island. Perched on a rock, you mark the soil with love as an ode to Perak, the land of grace. We love Perak, and so will you.
Radio Television Bendera Ipoh, Morning Ipoh with Katie, episode number 16, the second session. As we continue to see the first session, so much incredible explanation done by Damian Nagalingam. And now we move on to the facts and figures and things that we know is happening right now to the world. Last year in March 2020 was taken aback by surprise by a little visitor known as the COVID virus. And then the pandemic started. And we Malaysians have gone through so many difficulties, Damian. What did you do during this pandemic?
Katie, yeah, it's very true. When COVID set in and all broke loose in March 2020, everything in our industry came to a halt. It took me a couple of weeks to figure out and tell myself, look, I ain't just going to sit back and wait this out. I've got to do something. I tried out something that I've never dreamt of that I'll ever do. I started to learn recipes and cooking methods from my mom. I started off with the basics, something that I've always loved when I was young. And she would make it for me and prepare it in a Tupperware and send me to school with a couple of slices of bread with kaya. So I learned the recipe and I learned the remedy of making it from my 88-year-old mom.
Oh, can you imagine someone in the events industry, a master of ceremony, suddenly got connected to what we need every day, an essential item called food. And this is where the Kaya Boy started. And I believe, Damian, this is the work and the story of an entrepreneur who has changed the roles, taken on new challenges, and moving on to this Kaya Boy. And what else did you do other than just the Kaya Boy?
Well, I learned the initial recipes and I sought help. I looked up for one of my aunties, Auntie Amoy, and she helped me to perfect the entire cooking recipe and the productions for it. So I started off making kaya, which is something that we Malaysians, it's Malaysian food. You don't get kaya anywhere around the world. It is 110% Malaysian food. It is made from Malaysians over 100 years ago, and it's normally eaten in the most important meal of our lives, breakfast. BREAKFAST. We are breaking fast from sleep, and that's right, making a nice, delicious double boiled kaya, traditionally cooked over charcoal.
Traditionally cooked over charcoal. That means
Yeah.
no item, no electric items, all by hand, by love. Well, why don't you share the process, how this guy has to be made, what's required?
It requires a lot of patience, it requires a lot of stamina, and most of all, lots of charcoal. I've got two kayas that is available. It's pandan. We do pandan with pure pandan extract. We use the pandan leaves, we blend it, and we juice out every single drop of pandan extract to get the pandan flavor. And the other is our gula melaka. So we will boil down the gula melaka and we will cook it. And it's normally a 6-hour process. You have to keep on stirring and stirring and stirring and mastering the art of controlling charcoal fire. Now, that was one thing that took me a little bit of time, because it's not like gas. When you want it up, you go up. When you want it down, you go down. No, but mastering the art of controlling the heat of charcoal is something that it depends on the size of your charcoal stove and the amount that you are cooking. That will take some time. It is a process that it's just got to be in you, and lots of patience, Katie.
Damon, by the way you're explaining, I can see the process of how tiring, how difficult it is. But of course, the end product is something which is natural, which is original, which is called the kaya boy. Well, that's
And it's from Ipoh.
yes, of course, it's made in Ipoh. And that's only the part where it's a process of getting it done. How about delivering it to ensure that it doesn't go under heat or it becomes spoiled halfway through? How do you make sure that we call it from the birth to the end, it is all done professionally?
Katie, since this is something that we started off about 8 months to a year ago, I want to know who my customers are. So to make it short, we cook it ourselves. We get our orders via our Facebook page, Shopee and Lazada. We're available online, and also through friends. And whatever orders I get via my social media or my phone or my friends, I actually deliver it by hand, because I want to know who are the people that are enjoying this. And I will ask them for their feedback. Could you kindly please tell me, is it okay? Is it good? Is there any more way of improvement? Because there's always room for CI. There's always room for continuous improvement. And, having a comment, may it be good, may it be not so good, we take it positively and we improve on it.
That is really incredible. We just heard a story of sharing from a person who was in the events industry, moving on to the food. So my idea is, Damon, with this kind of entrepreneurship, of your idea of getting involved in something which to me was basically a mummy's recipe, turning it into a business during tough times like this. What is your inspiring? What is your words of advice to those who are still pondering and wondering what to do during this pandemic?
Seriously, Katie? Okay. Tell yourselves this, no holds barred. You are your greatest achievement. There's nothing to stop you except yourselves. Explore the little ideas that you have in you, nurture them and grow them, because they might be your greatest success. Trying out something new and being able to fail is the road to success, because only when you fail and when you improve, it's where you improve yourself and you are actually taking the next step to the road of success. Nothing starts up perfectly. It doesn't happen that way. You need to crawl, you need to fall, you need to stand up again, you need to build, you need to learn, you need to be criticized at, you need to be patient, you need to pray, you need to respect, and you need to have lots of patience, and you need to focus. So never give up without a fight, never go down without a fight. Always tell yourself, wake up in the morning, you can do it, we can try, and we will definitely make a way for ourselves to earn a living.
That is the words of a champion. Very well said. That was going with the flow, grow and glow together. And Damon, you're a DJ before. You know what the Ocean has mentioned, a song called When the Going Gets Tough, the Tough Gets Going. So we're going through, we never give up. We are there. We foster the relationship. We move on because everything in the world happened for a special reason.
Yes.
Let's now talk about something more interesting. You were born in Ipoh.
Yeah.
You are known as a Ipoh boy. Kaya boy is also from Ipoh.
Yep.
Just visualize in your own mind, how do you think Ipoh city will look like in your foresight, say 5 years from today?
Wow, Ipoh has grown tremendously now, being situated right smack in the middle of the Malaysian map, right? I believe Ipoh will progress much further, having some fantastic sceneries, the best lime mountains throughout Malaysia, and healthy green vast land. I'm sure loads of visitors will be pouring in, sooner or later once the pandemic is over, with great food,
Yeah.
fantastic coffee in Ipoh, and the friendly people in Ipoh. I find Ipoh to boom, especially with a couple of great developments that are coming along. I've seen the fantastic new shopping experience that is coming up in Batu Gajah, Silver Lakes. Awesome, and hopefully after this pandemic, Ipoh will definitely take 3 steps up.
Thank you for that sharing. Definitely, Damien, the food, the white coffee or Pak Coffee is a world-known brand. And people who comes to Ipoh, they will just come, they will just eat, they'll be so happy. And we have this very controlled development, which is eco-rice with greenery. Even our Honorable Chief Minister of Perak is talking about planting 100,000 trees. These trees are important for us to ensure that we can continue with this climate change and so forth. Thank you for sharing that with me. Next question. Yang berbahagia, Datuk Rumaizi Baharin, the Datuk Bandar of Ipoh, has announced his vision and mission to make Ipoh City the cleanest city in the year 2023. Ipoh Bandaraya Terbesar tahun 2023. What do you think will be your advice for us together, staying in Ipoh especially, to achieve this status?
Nothing is impossible. That's right. Nothing is impossible. If that question was thrown to me, my answer would be everything should start from home. How we keep our house. Everything starts from within. We keep ourselves clean. Naturally, we want our surroundings, our home to be clean. And the minute we take a step out of our doors, okay, be mindful and be mindful. Keep our trash to ourselves. And if everybody plays a part, Ipoh will not only be the cleanest, but it will be the best place to live in. So to all the folks tune into this radio stations, start within yourselves. Cultivate the cleanliness concept with children, with the elderly folks, and practice it. Keep our trash to ourselves. Take it home, bundle it up, leave it outside, and I'm sure the municipality will play its part in cleaning up whatever that we want to throw in a proper manner. So always use a bin, always use a bin bag, always keep your trash tied and kept neatly for the trucks to come and pick up, because they too are doing their jobs. And if you just chuck it on the roadside and just leave it open like that, it's polluting the air. So start within. As how we keep ourselves clean, as how we keep our home clean, we shall do the same for this lovely city called Ipoh to be the cleanest city not only in 2023, but as soon as possible, making it the best place, the choice, the preference of all Malaysians to visit and live in.
That was simply spot on, Damian. The advice that kindness comes from home, how we're able to share and care with others. And remember, it is not only the Ipoh City Council employees to ensure this happens, because Ipoh City has grown in size,
Yes.
right? It's such a huge place. How can the employees take care of so many gardens, so many roads? So I believe we should start now. We should start now to move on to ensure that Ipoh Cleanest City 2023 is in the pipeline and to be a success. With that, thank you very much. We have come to the end of this incredible conversation with Mr. Damian Nagalingam.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Katie for giving me this opportunity. It is wonderful. Thank you so much, sir.
It is great because this morning I called you the I, the inspirer, the motivator, and the influencer. And these are where we begin to extract our ideas. We share with each other to make Ipoh, Malaysia, the world a better place to stay.
Yes.
Thank you once again for tuning in. We look
Thank you,
forward
Katie.
to the episode. Okay, so Morning Ipoh with Katie under Radio Television Bandrai Ipoh comes to an end. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep practicing social distancing, and always wear a mask.